So Ryan, would you give us your report on both Rush, and then would you touch on the awards that you guys picked up at the convention?
Yes. Okay, so I guess we'll start with Rush. First of all, the poker table was extremely successful. So thank you for all the alumni who contributed to that. We appreciate it because it definitely was a big help. On top of that, Mr. Hillard and him letting us use the Lexington Club was probably the best decision we made during all of Rush, and that was also extremely successful. So thank you, Mr. Hillard, and obviously everyone who came to speak at that. Yeah, so we got 19 guys. A lot of them are athletes. A surprising amount of them aren't athletes, actually, which is, I mean, kind of not as typical as we usually get. And then I think the second biggest Rush class was KA. They got 12 guys. I believe Phi Tall got 7, and then SIG got 6. So I think we tripled SIG, doubled Phi Tall, and almost doubled KA.
Ryan, I had a quick question for you. Obviously, like, quantity is good. Did you all feel like you got the guys that you wanted? Did you feel like KA was KA competing really well for those guys, or like did you feel like, of the guys you wanted, you got 90% of them? Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we gave out 18 bids. We had 16 accept, and then we also had 2 more people who just didn't go through Rush. They just signed with us. Actually, no, I take it back. We had 3 more people who did that because 1 more signed last night. So, yeah, KA was basically competing for all the people that we got. I don't think we gave a single bid to anyone that they actually accepted. So
you went pretty much 100% on the guys you wanted then.
Correct. Yeah, the one person.
That's outstanding, by the way.
Yeah, the one person who did not sign with us, we were kind of iffy on, and then there was another person who just ended up not rushing.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
So how'd the smoker go?
Smoker's fantastic. Everyone told us that it was by far the nicest, 1, and 2, that we by far had the best speakers. So, and I had several people come up to me and tell me that was one of the best meals I've ever had. So it couldn't have gotten much better.
Did Alan Eskridge speak? I thought I saw a picture with him in it.
Yes, Alan spoke. Then Dr. Patel, he was alumni weekend, plastic surgeon.
I was going to say, I'm glad he's back because he's really good. As is Bill Todd too. He's no slouch. So I'm glad that Alan was able to come speak because he's very.
Question, Ryan, are you all still having problems with a couple of the coaches allowing people to go through a Rush?
So the soccer coach, obviously the baseball coach just kind of has a no rush policy, and it's been that way. It's kind of the culture of their team for a long time. We went and had a meeting with the soccer coach. And then how many soccer guys? I think there were 6 soccer guys that rushed, and every single one of them joined Pike. So any problem there has been solved.
Good. And what is the general regional distribution of your new members? They're from Kentucky, Indiana?
I would say the majority of them are from Kentucky. Yeah. It's pretty typical of Transy. I mean, there's a few of them that are from out of the state that came here to play sport, but for the most part, they're all from Kentucky.
Ryan, are there any teams that are there any coaches on any teams that are still like pretty hesitant about Rush? And are there any opportunities to maybe pick up some more athletes, maybe once those athletes have settled in? Or what does that look like?
I'm sure you know, Michael, the baseball coach has always been just against it. But his philosophy is he basically brings in a bunch of guys and then he basically cuts half the team. So what we're doing is we're kind of getting close with a lot of the baseball guys. That way, when inevitably half of them quit, we'll just pick them up. Kind of like we had a baseball guy that joined last year. It was kind of the same situation.
But the soccer coach has improved his attitude.
Yes, and then two of the soccer guys are going to wait till spring one of those guys ended up just signing last night, and then the other one's going to join in the spring.
Ryan, how did the axe throwing go?
The axe throwing was also successful. Every event we had during Rush, we were told that it was better than every other chapter, is nicer. So high praise from everybody, and we had a great time.
Keep working with Dr. Patel. He seems like a very interesting guy. I had a couple of good conversations with him, and I'm glad he showed up to help you all with Rush.
I had some people walk up to me and say he gave one of the best speeches they've ever heard. So he was awesome.
So anything else? How'd you guys do budget wise? Did you cover all your bases?
The budget's a little tight right now. We ended up spending more in Rush than we thought we would. Just kind of the nature of it. So, and we're only getting $100 per guy for the new class. So we'll be working with a kind of a tight budget this semester. I was going to talk to you, Bill Todd, about, I'm not sure how much money is left in the furniture fund, but I know last year that fund covered the composites, which we have coming up soon. So I don't know if you guys be able to do that again or not. But I think the composites are October 23rd.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Hey, wow.
So that's something we could talk about more. Maybe I can talk to Charlie about it. But yeah, money's a little tight right now with because Nationals increased how much we have to pay them every year again. So.
And dues are going up this year, right?
Yes. So dues are $450 a semester for the new guys, and then $350 of that goes to Nationals the first semester.
Isn't that amazing? Well, it's the one thing I've done a lot of reading on this since we last talked, and Pi Kappa Alpha is charging very, competitively what the other fraternities are charging. So it's not where we're not being, held up at gunpoint. We might be, but it's pretty competitive.
Yeah, that's a sentiment I've also gotten, and kind of what they said at the convention.
Right. So talk a little bit. Was the convention worthwhile? And can you kind of give us a little rundown on the awards you guys won?
Yeah, so the convention was awesome. Obviously, we met a lot of people, learned a lot. We got a GPA award, so I think the award was for maintaining above a 3.5 GPA, and then we got a recruitment award, which was it's based on a tier system, so on the size of your school. So for our size, we received a recruitment award, and then there was a pretty big recruitment award that we got second in. That is a pretty big deal. So a lot of good things. And then I think with recruitment this year, we'll be pretty competitive for the big awards coming up in the next few years.
Anything else or any questions for our SMC?
Yeah. Last question. Ryan, so you all are at about pushing 60 members thereabout?
58 right now.
And how many roughly of the 58 are seniors, so that we kind of know what you're getting? What?
I think 13 seniors.
Okay, gotcha. So that we're getting pretty close to where it's going to be an even split then, right, across all four.
Are we the largest? Are we the largest fraternity on campus now?
So I'm having a meeting with Candy tomorrow. I'll ask her, but we counted up all the members in the pictures taken on Old Morrison, and we had the most. So I believe we are.
Well, who is the dog in the picture?
Yeah, right.
Who does that belong to?
That's one of our seniors' dogs.
Love dogs.
One of our Florida alumni was very excited that you had an astronaut in the group too. He sent me a note.
Yeah,
and we were also pleased to see that you all have the bell and are using the bell aggressively. Be sure to let Rick Swan know, Bill.
Yeah, and Jan didn't what's his name? Didn't who drove the bell down from Cincinnati?
Ed Annette.
I'm sorry, not Rick Swan. Ed
Annette. Nicknamed the Bear.
Oh, okay.
He was
great. We had someone also recorded. I'm not sure if you guys keep it to Instagram. I'll start posting the videos on Facebook, but someone recorded the run out and everything, and then they made a video for us, and we posted that on our social media. So that was cool.
I
too.
thought it was fantastic.
And so what's the red paint that you all use and the KAs use?
Sorry,
on your new
say-
members?
Say it again.
The red body paint.
Oh yeah, that's just tradition every year.
They've been doing that since I was there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of unfortunate because 3 of the 4 fraternities here kind of have similar colors.
Same color,
So-
yeah.
Yeah, it can be hard to tell who's coming out where, but I thought it was pretty funny because we had so many more members than everyone else. They had to start running our guys out in pairs of two instead of just running them out one by one. Otherwise, they would have just kept going. We would have been there
So
all
do they
day.
pick up their bids at Old Morrison and then come to the back quad, the back circle?
Yeah, usually the run out is in. So they got their bids for the campus center. Usually the run out is in Old Morrison, but because of the weather this year, they held it in back circle.
So Ryan, where are you thinking about holding your weekly chapter meetings now?
So yeah, that's a good question. I think we're going to do it in a classroom in either Brown Science Center or Strickland or in Calgill. But most other chapters, unfortunately, do their chapter meetings on Monday nights. So a lot of the rooms that we could use have been taken already. So we've been kind of walking around trying to figure out what we want to do. We actually had our first meeting this week in the chapter room, and there was people sitting on the floor. So we're working pretty quickly to find a new spot.
Well, I think Jack suggested that we rent out the KA chapter room next door to you.
Use both.
Well,
Hey,
yeah,
but
we got to think about. I was thinking alumni weekend that we're going to have the guys in the chapter hanging in the hallway because they go in that room. It'll jack the temperature up to 200 degrees.
Yeah, too many of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Ryan,
Yeah. Yes.
my wife was the president of the Tri-Delts back in 1973,
Okay.
and they had as many members as you did. And they all sat on the floor except the officers.
How do the
Alright.
sororities do in Rush?
Not during rush, during the year.
No, but how did the sororities do this year during Rush?
The sorority system is it works kind of different. They're basically there's a cap on how many members they can receive based on who
They
the
have
largest.
socialism.
Yeah, based on who the largest
Yeah.
sorority. So, like Tri-Delta and Chi were the 2 biggest sororities going in, so they could only give out so many bids, and then the smaller sororities could give out slightly more. So basically, every sorority gets a similar number of members. But I think they had like 70 or 80 people signed up compared to our 40.
So why do the girls or the women tend to go out for Rush and the men do not?
You mean
only
like?
You only had
well,
about 40 males go out for Rush.
right. I think especially this year, I think there were a considerable more number of girls in the freshman class than there were guys. So I think that was part of it. And then honestly, I'm not sure. I think some of the guys here are more into their sports. Maybe like their coaches are a little stricter on them. The female coaches, female teams. So I think that's also part of it.
Do you think the Student Life Office is encouraging people to go out for Rush or discouraging them? I've read the stuff they put up on their website. It looks pretty positive.
Yeah, I think they're pretty encouraging, especially considering the president was involved in Greek life, Dean Covert was involved in Greek life, so they're pretty. They advocate pretty heavily for it, but there's really almost only so much you can do. A big part of it is just us reaching out to guys and kind of bringing them in, because we had 4 guys that weren't even signed up for Rush that we signed this year.
Well, the Princeton Review, for whatever it's worth, has ranked Transy very high on Greek life, and we want to encourage that reputation.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, guys.
One thing I would add related to this, Jan, the Alumni Association might consider filming the smoker next year, and if we have the same speakers, something similar. But I can tell you, and I said this to my wife and to Bill Todd the day after, I walked away that evening feeling like it is too bad that president of the university, leaders, hell, I wished a board of trustee or two could have been there, because I walked away feeling so proud, not just of Kappa, but of the university, and thinking, there's no way if I were a parent and I'd been in that room and saw these
Leaders.
80 young men, seeing a couple of alums, I would think, by God, I am glad I sent my son to Transylvania, and I'd sure as hell hope they'd be part of a friendship, a group of something like Kappa, because it was just downright impressive. And I think we, I don't know, for various reasons, as a recruitment tool, but also to show the administration that you really ought to, for various reasons of their own overall recruitment. Ryan, congratulations, because what you did as leadership and what your chapter did was, I just think, sterling.
Thank you, Jack. It means a lot. But the administration, the president's got to be very careful, because they can't be seen as being prejudiced or biased towards Kappa versus the others.
But we want them to encourage the Greek system, because
Yeah.
the Greek system
Yeah.
really is a major connection with alumni.
Exactly. But he can't be seen being a Kappa chapter enthusiast.
Well, I'm not suggesting that. I'm not suggesting that for a moment, but I don't know. I'm just thinking about how we use it to our advantage, and how, in my opinion, university as a whole ought to use it to their advantage to recruit students overall.
Well, I think
Anyway, that's
Jack,
all.
you're onto something there, and I think the first audience we ought to send it to is the parents of the new recruits, because when a parent hears, "Oh, my son just joined a fraternity," they're not thinking about all the good they do. Well, I can attest to its powers. It works quite well. So.
Just don't send the Rush video with the rap music to the parents.
Well, Ryan, you're going to be running the Alumni Association next year, so you better take notes on this stuff.
Oh man, both
Any questions for Ryan?
One more